Alrighty, so we are finally here. David Benavidez versus Sorry My Bad. Remember, like, subscribe, share. We are gonna keep saying that at the beginning of every video. And this is a fight, the main event. We're gonna move backwards with our fight prediction videos. So we'll start off with the main event: David Benavidez versus Anthony Yarde. Ring Magazine 4, and this is the fight that is actually seen as the test for David Benavidez. Finally gonna find out if he's actually ready to be at the light heavyweight class and to step up and to go against a full-fledged light heavyweight, not somebody that's been on a layoff like the Nail. I forget his name. I just always call him the Nail. You know, the guy that Arthur Beterbiev had baptized in 2017 or 18, and then he retired, came back against David. David didn't look like the David of old, so everybody said that David was just a blown up 168 and he was just fighting a whole bunch of small guys. And this is obviously not a David Morrell who only had 11 fights prior to fighting David and was very green, never been a full 12 rounds, never really fought a full-fledged championship fight or even a full-fledged championship caliber opponent, and everybody thought that he lost a hot rod. This is Anthony Yarde, a guy who is notorious for coming up in second place. Yeah, I said it. He's been in there with the likes of Arthur Beterbiev, Sergey Kovalev, and his best win to date is against Lyndon Arthur, who he's had a rubber match with. And y'all know how I feel about English muffins. I don't care. These UK guys ain't like that. So this is the breakdown for the fight, right? This is my fight prediction. Let me fix my do-rag real quick because it looked like it's not centered. Anyways, we got to fix the do-rag. It's a do-rag check. Sorry for the lighting and everything. It's just real bright in here. But we're going to figure out who's going to get this victory, right? So David, we all know about his advantages. I feel like the speed advantage goes to David. Obviously the height and the reach I think is in favor of David. And the accomplishments inside the ring obviously goes to David. He's actually been a world champion 3 times. We know his history on why he's a 3-time champ at 168 and only held 1 belt. He's lost the belt on the scale due to what was going on with the pandemic. Also lost his belt on the scale due to it was weight, and then booger sugar that nose candy, which was a little fishy. I'm not gonna put no allegations out there on David because I do respect David. He's won me over as a fan. He's fought the likes of Caleb Plant. I named the other guys that he fought at the light heavyweight division. So championship experience wise, this is big. Now, Anthony Yarde, when it comes to, I don't know who's the better athlete, to be honest. Because during the weigh-in yesterday, a lot of people said that David was the guy who was basically, he looked like he was drained. He looked like he couldn't really make the weight anymore. And that's why he's bringing up Zurdo Ramirez and fighting at cruiserweight potentially after this fight. I feel like David's just searching for big fights that's going to kind of stamp his legacy. The Canelo fight, we don't know if that's going to be a fight that still can get made, that can be made after this. But he's been on a tear when it comes to promoting himself now and actually calling out Canelo and calling Canelo out of his name and letting people know that Canelo's scared of him, which I believe to be wholeheartedly true. Anthony Yarde, on the other hand, he's a big underdog. I ain't putting the cent on him to win this fight, and I'm going to tell you why. Anthony Yarde's biggest flaws to me, are this. One, the muscles. He got too much muscles. That lactic acid buildup as you move those hands and you get those hands moving. And not only are you just punching, remember, you're not punching a heavy bag. You're getting hit back. So, the lactic acid, the fact that he's just a little bit too muscular for his stature, personally. 2, Anthony Yarde is flat-footed. He's a flat-footed fighter, and he's a guy that doesn't really, his output, he likes to pop shot and get at you one shot at a time. That's not going to work with a guy like David. And I don't think Anthony Yarde is a great inside fighter. I think he's actually a terrible inside fighter, and he squares up a lot when he's in that position. So David's gonna definitely have the opportunity to knock him out with an uppercut, if it presents itself and if it gets to that type of fight. Though I feel like the way that Anthony Yarde could actually get to David is being on being at a closer range, dipping side to side, staying low, going to dig into the body, coming up top, dig into the body, coming up top. If I was him, I would have been watching a lot of Mike McCallum's fights. And yeah, the body attack is what will go after David, because David, like a lot of people said, he looked like he was drained. He looked flabby. He didn't look like he was in shape. But if you know boxing and you watch boxing, can y'all tell me what Mexican you've ever seen? No disrespect to Mexicans, but can y'all tell me any Mexican y'all ever seen came in cut up and shredded, looking like Canelo Alvarez outside of Canelo Alvarez? You rarely see that from guys who are actually like full bred like Mexicans. So don't let like what somebody looks like on the scale 12 hours before the fight dictate your prediction on who's going to win. That's far few in between. I've seen people go out there and look like zombies, look like Michael Jackson and Thriller, come back, wash opponents. Like, it don't make... And remember, this is sports science we're talking about. These guys know how to rehydrate to get themselves back to correct form the night of the fight. They're pros at it. So, and that's what they should be spending their hard-earned money on when it comes to pre-fight camps, right? So, final prediction. I'm going to go out here on a limb. Watch Anthony's last fight. Definitely watch David's last fight. I was at David's last fight. I'm going to get David Benavidez as the win, right? I'm going to pick him up to win by stoppage. Here's why. When he fought David Morrell, that's a guy that he'd never been close to defeat. He's never tasted defeat, and that was all pride because he had called out David Benavidez. So even if David was to pummel Morrell, it still was not going to be a knockout. The same way with him and Caleb Plant. This fight, though, is different. Anthony Yarde has been in some wars. Kovalev, Beterbiev. I don't know how he went through wars with Lyndon Arthur. But he's been through wars from what they built him up. He shouldn't have been in. That Lyndon Arthur fight should have never been a trilogy. So I'm predicting David knock dude's block off between rounds 7 and 9. 7 and 9. I think it's going to be a stoppage. I'll even do you one better. Like I just said, he threw an uppercut. He leans over. He's going to throw an uppercut. And the uppercut's what's going to do him in. He's going to throw that... David likes to step on his straight right and his jab. So I think the jab's going to bother him. He'll pack him up and get him out here. The homie CJ Goodfella, Sport TV, thinks that Anthony Yarde is going to knock David Benavidez out. He's going to be yelling, "Lions in the camp!" Listen, today, trust me, them Lions, instead of going roar, they're going to be meow. They getting turned into kids. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, share with everybody else. David Benavidez, we picking him. We picking him for the win today. Catch me on the next one. Peace.